Hey guys, welcome back to Knife Mania. I told you I'd start a series of videos on how I make my knives. Well, at least these prototype ones I'm going to be making. The first step is the concept. Get the idea down on paper, which you guys seen. It's the bottom one here. Right? So then I took measurements and scaled it out just a little bit because it wasn't quite to the size I wanted. And then drew it out again. But this is just for the knife blank. Okay? And I already got my center holes marked. You can see where all my center holes are. I might put a couple more holes in here to lighten up the handle a little bit. Give it more of that chopping power and make the blade a little bit heavier. And then piece of cardboard, actually press board, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So now the next step I'm going to do is literally cut this out because this is to the size I want, and glue it on here. And then cut it out of the cardboard. That way I got a good stencil to use. Some people, again, I'm only making 2 of these knives, so it doesn't have to last forever. But, yeah, knife making meets arts and crafts first. This is the way I've always done my material removal knives. I got several stencils of other knives I've made still, so I guess I could always make more if I got more material, but right now, just working at this. Now, this has to be pretty precise. All this cutting and everything else, because ultimately this is going to be what the knife is. So the right size, the right dimensions. So when you're in kindergarten learning how to cut paper, pay attention, because granted, if there's itty bitty defects in it, that's one thing, because you can always get in there with a die grinder like in here, and everything else, but we'll get into that later. Right? Like I said, I'm just showing you step by step how I do this. The material will probably be here with the way things are shipping because of this lockdown. I don't know. I honestly don't know when it'll be here. It could be here Wednesday, it could be here Friday, it could be here 3 weeks from now. I don't know. Now, the problem with doing small orders of knives like this, a lot of people don't understand, is the steel alone for these 2 knives cost me almost $100, okay? Again, it's going to be out of A2, 1/4 inch. Now, when I go order handle material, rather than making it out of wood or something, I want it out of something that'll last a little bit better. Something I don't have to worry about banging up, because this is a survival / bushcraft / hunt knife. So I'm probably going to go with something man-made, G10. I don't know. I really don't know yet. Started looking last night, and for a set of scales, it will run me, swear, what was it going to run me? Anywhere from like $20 to $200.
Something like that.
Depending on what scales and liners I go with. And that's just, you get one shot. Otherwise, you gotta pry them back off and melt them back off, and then you gotta retreat your knife and all that good stuff. So it's very important that when you're doing this, I mean, it's going to be a good sized blade. Again, I'm not going to tell you exact dimensions. But yeah, no. So probably by the time I'm done making just one knife, not including the Metabo cutoff wheels, the grinding wheels, the buffing wheels, the sandpaper, the emery cloth, and everything else that's going to be needed, drill bits, you know, you're looking at almost probably $250 in material alone for each knife. Now, if you're making, you know, quantity, it gets cheaper because you buy the material in bulk, you get more discounts and everything else. And so, yeah. All right. So, now that I got my paper template cut out, I'm going to take some wood glue here. Wood glue works great on paper, believe it or not. It is wood. I'm going to put it on the back side. That way I still get my, this damn light, center hole marks. Put it on this side, the glue, smear it thin. This isn't like when I'm making my slingshots. You don't have to go nuts with the glue. You just want it fully coated. Which means I'm going to be able to peel some glue off of my fingers again. Smearing it all over the back, just nice, even coat. You want to make sure there's glue everywhere. You do not want this to move. But then again, you don't want to go and smear it on there so thick to where the whole thing is completely warping and all that. Sometimes, times in the past, I've used spray adhesive. Flip that bad boy over. Yeah, buddy. You just work the knife down, work it down nice and flat. Again, this is going to be your template, so you want it done right. You know, you don't want to mess it up. And then the very next step, until material gets here, is cutting that out of the cardboard. So again, take your time, do your layouts, get your sketch first. Take measurements of what you exactly, how big you want it, the whole 9 yards. And then you do an actual layout draft on another piece of paper. Cut it out. Glue it down on something more solid. And then you got your template. I'm still working it, making sure it's all flat. This isn't going to come off. Now the next part will be showing you how I prep the steel. Like I said, I just got to cut this out, but I got to let it dry first. So, like I said, I'm going to take you guys through this step by step, my process, the whole 9 yards. I got to buy drill bits. I got to buy brass pins. I don't use the screw-in pins. I epoxy everything together. Well, you'll see. I'll do one side, epoxy all together, drill it, make sure the pin, there's clearance for the brass pin to go through, glue the other side, drill back through that side, and then you know everything's lined up, okay? And then the brass pins, after I cut them in length and get them through, I will actually rivet everything together on top of the epoxy, so the scales will never come off. They might crack, but they're not going to come off of your knife. Now to do this, regardless if it's wood, G10, burlap, whatever. You can see some carbon fiber out there. I was like, ooh, that's nice, but I don't think I'm going to spend that kind of money on scales. But, alright guys, until next time, keep your knife sharp, keep your fingers out of the way, keep your sanity. Later guys.